Do I look different? Do I just am I glowing?
Did you cut your hair?
Other than me obviously aging in reverse. You know what I mean? I'm like Benjamin Button, but in reverse.
Wait, what?
Getting younger by the day.
Okay.
Other than that, can you
use some new skincare products?
kind of. Well, no, not kind of. That's not it. I've got one kid that I've taken. I've grown him myself.
Did you?
From my belly.
Wow.
I've grown him and held him in my hands to this age where I held him like this. And then he got older and he started to grow up little by little until he's about this tall now.
Not quite past you.
He can't catch me, especially with the hair. And now he is graduated.
We have a graduate.
It
happened. We have a middle school graduate and a high school graduate. So
double graduates.
Freshmen, both of them next year. That's exciting.
Double grads.
We've been busy. We've had a lot going on. We're glad to be back, but the last week and a half was a lot. We had family in town. It's been busy. We've had a lot going on. My own school's graduation, and then
JK from the Bay.
From the Bay was in town.
Old school #1 fan.
I know. It was so fun getting to see them and spend some time together. And I got to spend time with the family, did the graduation thing, had a nice little lunch together, and then had a big party with all the family and friends, and it came together so nicely. We did kind of a game theme, so we had board games.
You did wonderful with the party.
Yeah,
so good.
It
was very, very good.
It was a lot of fun. Your mom was a huge help. And my mom made some goodies, and we had people show up early to help, kick us off. And then
it was a lot.
Man, we just had so much fun. We had it at a rec center, and so everybody just got to kind of spread out and do what made them happy. And so that people were playing board games and snacking at the grazing table and popcorn and candy.
And the saddest part, can I talk about the saddest thing that happened? The slideshow pictures.
All the pictures. That's what made me weepy. I did a really good job suppressing my emotions throughout the entire really senior year graduation season, but pulling together the pictures for the slideshow was hard. Yeah.
I was happy. I pulled, you said, let's pull together a slideshow. So I pulled together 100, maybe 200, something like that. And I put them all together in a place, shared an album. And I said, okay, put yours in here. How many pictures did you add to my album?
Well, I narrowed it down to 1,700.
1,700 pictures. Now we have a slideshow with almost 2,000 pictures.
There's no shortage of photos of that child. Both of our children, really. But it was a fun slideshow, and a lot of people sat and watched it. And, a lot of the pictures included everybody that was at the party, and so they got to see themselves too. But man, it just goes so fast.
So fast.
Like,
So one down, one to go. That's what I say.
No, we're moving right along to the next chapter.
That's just mommy and daddy time. You know what I mean?
All the time. All day, every day.
24/7. That's what we're going to... Is that one?
Welcome to Our Next Chapter podcast.
Welcome.
I'm Andrea.
And I am Matthew.
He's Matthew today. And we are a married couple, high school sweethearts who have two grown-ish boys, two upcoming freshmen. We moved into college. We're college parents now. That's kind of crazy. But we decided we loved reading romance novels together, so we started to write one together, and this podcast is documenting that process. So thank you for joining us on our journey.
We're talking to great authors, and we have
our first return author today. We're excited to have her back. We'll tell you all about that in just a little bit.
I do have a theme song for this section. Big Book Week. Big Book Week. That's your part. Big Book Week.
Big Book Week.
Yeah, a Big Book Week.
Why'd you give me the low part?
Now I'm. You're supposed to be the high part.
Okay.
Big Book Week.
Big Book.
Too soon. You came in too soon. Big Book Week.
We didn't rehearse ahead of time. So next time. Sorry, we missed that one.
We'll work on that one.
In the midst of all of the graduation chaos, we went to like 3 book events.
We did.
So we talked a little bit about it last time. We were very excited. We got to go see Annabel Monaghan and hear all about Dolly All the Time. And interviewing her was Alex Snodgrass, The Defined Dish, which was really cool to get to meet her and talk to her as well. And then we took a little detour to barbecue
I have a little bit of a barbecue problem. I'm a barbecue snob, and you may or may not know this about me.
I don't know how much we've talked about
I'm forever building. It's one of my forever COVID projects is to build a smoker in my backyard. I'm cutting and welding, and it's 90% done.
Just what every woman wants in her backyard, a 250-gallon propane tank.
Yeah, of course.
Being turned into a pit smoker.
So we did.
So we love to take road trips to try different barbecue, especially around the state. Texas is known for barbecue. And one of our favorites is Zavala's Barbecue on Main Street in Grand Prairie. And they had Evan
Leroy come
from Leroy Lewis.
Yeah,
who has this neat cookbook. Yeah, they're based in Austin, started as a food truck. Now they also have a brick and mortar.
One of the only, I think, 4 barbecue joints that have a Michelin star.
Yeah.
So they do new school barbecue.
He's put out
a bunch of different
cookbook
things
in partnership with Paula Forbes from Texas Monthly.
She writes for Texas Monthly as well. And they had so much good food at this thing. Man. They had your favorite, a Frito chili pie with chili recipe that was in here. And they also had a tortilla with some sausage in it, which was phenomenal. And then lastly, the last one was a barbacoa and tortilla, and it was so
with
good.
Like an avocado cilantro.
Oh, making me hungry.
So they brought the food and then had Evan's new cookbook, New School Barbecue, recipes for next level smoking and grilling. So that was so fun. You got to sit and talk to him.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Chud's Barbecue.
Chud's was there, if you're familiar with barbecue. But we did get to sit down. I was telling Evan, I was like, hey, we do this podcast and we interview authors. And so I started asking him some of our questions, and we got to spend some time with him. We probably should have had somebody roll on it, but he's a super smart guy.
Yeah, well, he had a background in creative writing, which I thought was cool. That was his major in college, and then he went to culinary school, and so now he's combined that, because you were asking about, the process of writing a cookbook. We were kind of curious about that process and how that was different, testing these recipes and then writing them. Like, what level do you write to for your audience? I mean, even just between you and I, our cookbooks would need to be very different, because mine needs to be how to boil an egg, hard boil an egg. I have to look up the recipe every time. You call that a recipe?
I definitely am a creative, season with your soul kind of person, and kind of mix and match things.
Love the art of cooking.
So it was interesting. We got to ask him some good questions. He's a super smart guy, very welcoming, very nice. Got to spend time with him. But right before that, actually the night before, we had seen the one and only
Annabel Monaghan. Dolly All the Time released a week or two ago. We got the chance to read this as an arc, so that was a lot of fun.
Right.
It was great listening to her talk about the writing process, because she said that she starts with what type of character she's writing. And so she was saying Dolly is like the emergency contact type. That's like the type of person she is, which, I love that. She said she doesn't necessarily start with tropes or storyline, anything. It's really just what type of characters are they. So she had taken a trip with her husband to Newport, Rhode Island, which is where this is set, and she saw these old mansions and took these tours and heard about these families that all had very similar stories, where they had this legacy and this money, and then at some point it was mismanaged and kind of lost their fortunes, lost their mansions. And so that's kind of how Stuart, the lead character, was born, where he's
feeling that pressure,
one of the siblings
the legacy alive.
Big family that's in the town named after him. I know we talked about it on the last episode. And so then she saw the fish houses and things and thought, well, that's where Dolly lives. And so she's like, how do I get them together? And she said it's got to be fake dating, because that's her favorite trope, even though she doesn't usually start with tropes. She said fake dating gets her every time. And so that's kind of where this was born.
Yeah. And I got to meet her, and I got to tell her she was my favorite. Yeah. And that was great. Got a picture. I also got to ask her a question.
That's true.
Which we could drop in, I don't know, right here-ish. Hey, Annabelle. First, congrats on the GMA book club pick.
Thank you.
My question is pretty simple. What is the one word that you always overuse in first drafts?
Wow. It is, I overuse it so much that I search it. It's just. And here's what just is. And I overuse it in emails too. It's you're hedging to make it not sound so important. Like, if I wanted to say to you, I want to ask you a question, you might be like, wow, she was really tough. But if I said, I just want to ask you a question, it's like a softening word. And so if I don't know where I'm going or what I'm trying to say, I use the word just. like 800 words. 800 times in a manuscript. I search it and then I take it out where I don't need it. But I'm just trying, I'm like, I don't have the confidence to not. Yeah.
So now we can say Annabel Monaghan is officially a guest of the show.
It's technically true.
Yeah.
She is an unknowing guest on the show.
Yeah,
I won't count it.
I mean, we got to introduce ourselves as the podcast hosts afterwards.
That's true.
So,
and she said she knew us. She's like, oh,
she's
yeah.
aware of us. Yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting. But yeah, it was great to talk to her. She said she loved your question. So she did a good job with that.
I did love what she said about the trope thing, though, because she said she was reading a book and was kind of like, iffy on it. And then her favorite trope came up.
Fake dating.
Fake dating popped up, right? Like you just said. And so between that and the idea of who we're talking to today.
I know. Let's
first return
tell
guest.
The audience who we're
talking to the Lauren Okie.
She's back.
She's back.
Thank you for coming back, Lauren.
Thank you.
Her second novel is launching next week. It's called Tropesick.
Tropesick.
Which is perfect. And we were so glad to have her back, so we can't wait for you to hear that.
And
But Matt got to thinking.
I got to thinking, since we were talking tropes and Annabelle mentioned her favorite trope, and the Tropesick is about tropes.
The tropes.
I thought I would quiz you on your favorite tropes. Okay. So we have a board. Oh, a top tropes board.
Top tropes.
Interesting.
I feel like the TikTok. This is like a TikTok challenge.
Yeah, I guess we have to decide that, right? Is it a thing? You tell me. Is it a thing where once you put it on there, it sticks? Or is it a thing where you can move them around?
I think it has to be the rule is that it sticks. Because that's part of the fun of it is I don't know. Matt has a list of tropes. I haven't seen them. And so whatever I see, I have to find a place for. But it's scary because you might rank something too high or too low and then you're stuck with it.
And then you're stuck with it.
That's part of the fun of
I have them all laid out here, upside down. She seriously has not seen them. I have them numbered so I know which order to go in. And I'll say...
And for those listening, we have a board that says top tropes and it's numbered 1 through 10.
Yeah.
He's going to reveal tropes to me.
I'm going to hand you tropes.
Them of how I feel about them.
I'll hand you a trope or I'll read it. And you can put it on the board. And then, if there's one that, is not your thing or, doesn't, I don't know, isn't something you want to read about, you can just stick it somewhere on the board and you don't have to rank it.
Okay.
So
you have more than 10.
So wink.
You have more than 10.
So wink. Maybe there's more than 10 in there. Who knows?
I will say I've been watching Off Campus and that's a fake dating trope as well. And I just love it. I'm obsessed.
I don't think that's our first one. Oh, yeah. The first one I have in here is workplace romance.
Oh, interesting.
So we actually watched the J-Lo movie.
Yeah, Brett Goldstein wrote it for J-Lo. It's called Office Romance.
Office Romance.
Yeah. And this is workplace romance. I'm going to rank this kind of low, though, because we've talked about it before. I don't like thinking about work when I'm reading.
That's
I
true.
read for escapism, so I'm like, it depends on what the workplace is, I guess. But I'm going to rank that pretty low. I'm going to say like 9.
Okay. It comes all the way to 9. Workplace romance. Number 2 here, I have written down.
Oh.
He Falls First.
Saw it when you turned
He Falls First. This is one of your favorites.
And it's part of Off Campus.
And it might be part of our book because I really love that too.
I will. And I always...
When we read The Shippers and it was a whole He Fell First thing, I really, really enjoyed that.
And see, this is like, I wish you had fallen first when I met you. This was always my wish, is that you'd been obsessed with me.
I've fallen every day since.
Oh, that's a good one.
You know?
I'm gonna put that. That's my number
1. Number 1. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Now
okay.
I'm getting my number 1.
Okay.
I can't think of anything that might pop up that I would like more. We'll see.
One.
I might have to eat my words, but
number 3, Alicia Silverstone in the Aerosmith video "Crazy and or Crying." Where do you rank
your
that one?
Favorite trope?
I don't know. What do you mean?
Yeah, no, I'm not even putting that on the board.
Are you sure? Okay.
I did dress as her though, and we went to right by you, stick it to you. Okay. We went to a 90s trivia night recently, and my goal is to dress as her in the video. And
it paid off for you. Okay, the next, Forbidden Love. I think this has like, the old sibling, don't date my sibling.
Okay, well, not siblings.
Well, I mean, you know what I'm saying. Best friend, sibling.
Don't date, my best friends, like little sister or something.
I think that all falls in
Good
there.
one.
I mean, Forbidden Love was also in the J-Lo movie. The Office Romance was part of that.
I like it, but it's not as hot for me. I'll make that number 6.
Number 6. So number 1, He Falls First. Number 6, Forbidden Love.
Good, especially when you have to be secret about it. But
okay.
It's not as exciting.
Number 5. Let's see. Fake dating / relationship.
That's a good one. The only thing is, we talked about this with Annabelle because she said it's her favorite too. I love it in Off Campus, but we're like, this never happens in real life.
In reality, she said that.
She said, raise your hand in here if you've ever fake dated. And not one person raised their hand, but it's something we just love to see.
I do like fake
in
dating.
Movies and books.
It's like, we're forced to do this thing.
I'm gonna give that number 5 because it's a good one. I mean, it's definitely
interesting.
definitely
I would have ranked that one
5.
higher for sure, but that's okay.
It's a good one.
Next one. Khal Drogo from Games of Thrones being unusually broody.
See, now Khal Drogo was played by Jason Momoa.
How would you know that?
I sure did love that. This is like fanfic. Like maybe I'll just write this as
I'll put this one over here.
Wait, what?
You don't have to rank that.
I'm sad my number 1 spot's already taken.
You don't have to rank that one. We'll save that one. No, let's move on because I don't like the way this is going.
I mean, Jason Momoa as Khal Drogo, that man has never been hotter. I'm sorry. I love you, but real. Next.
Second chance romance, because this is what you may need after that comment. Second chance.
That's a good one. I love that Annabelle, we love that she always writes about parenting. And like moms putting themselves back out there and things, and that is something I always love about her books too. But I always love a second chance romance, especially I think you and I really like reading characters that are a little older, that have had some experience, maybe have gone to therapy, done the work. Yeah, we've talked about this in our own book with Alex, that he's definitely gone to therapy and done the work, that he's been married, and so this is going to be a higher one. I think that's going to be number 4 for me.
Interesting.
I like a second chance romance.
Okay. Number 8 here, Ilya Rozanov from Heated Rivalry with the little, I couldn't put the word in there, accent. The little accent.
The little Russian accent?
Yeah. I'm going to put the little C accent in.
I sure do love some Ilya and Connor's story. Can I get both?
I'm going to put that one over here as well. You know, I thought
feel like you set me up.
You're supposed to be wholesale, just, I hate that. I would never.
What about Alicia Silverstone?
That's a test for you as well.
Interesting.
It's all a test for you.
What about Ilya and Khal Drogo? And they're both broody.
How about forced proximity, just one bed?
I do like that. I do like situations where they get stuck together.
It's kind of like fake dating relationship. Like you're kind of forced together.
Yeah, but I don't know. I like when, especially if they don't like each other. I think I'm gonna give that number 3.
Oh, wow. Okay.
They're stuck together. Yeah.
Okay.
What else?
Classic. Enemies to lovers.
That's a good one.
It's about to be us. So you keep talking all this stuff.
I like it. I don't think it's gonna be as high. I'm gonna give that my number 7.
Okay.
Just because I prefer friends.
I mean, heated rivalry.
I like friends to lovers. I know, heated rivalry. It was a good example, but
okay.
I mean, I loved it. I watched it 2 or 3 times.
How about Sydney Sweeney wearing a push-up bra as pajamas for no reason, which is from Handmaid's Tale.
I don't even know why that got.
Excuse me?
Who is she? I don't know who that is.
I saw it on the internet.
Who is that? I've never heard of her.
I had a friend text me.
Swami Samson?
Samsonite. I was way off. Yeah, that's funny, right?
Next.
You didn't like, she was just happened. Okay.
I don't even know who that is. Never heard of her.
Friends to lovers.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's gotta be my number 2. I hope there's nothing else I really love.
Okay.
But I do. I love Friends.
That's our story.
Maybe that should have been number 1. No, because this was I wish it would have been He Falls First, but
What about billionaire or celebrity? Or this could be royalty too.
Those are good. I like those. I'm gonna give that my number 10. It belongs on the list, but I don't know. There's always a power dynamic with that I'm not crazy about. So
okay. How about Anna Kournikova playing tennis circa 1998 before Enrique Iglesias puke?
Poor Enrique Iglesias. He's just
catching strays.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I mean, I could put that in.
That needs to go. We'll just stick that. Let's just put that over there on top of Alicia Silverstone.
And last, we have
Love Anna Kournikova.
Opposites Attract, Grumpy Sunshine.
The only time I love this is when the girl is the grumpy and he's the sunshine. I mean, it's always good, but yeah, I'm happy with my list.
Oh, your list did turn out pretty much how you would have done it.
It really is. I think I would have ranked it
So
differently.
number 1, He Falls First. Number 2, Friends to Lovers.
Yep.
3, Forced Proximity. 4, Second Chance Romance. 5, Fake Dating. 6, Forbidden Love. Enemies to Lovers. Opposites Attract. Workplace, and then Billionaire Celebrity.
Yeah, I'll stick with
Wow.
and these can Anna and Alicia.
I mean,
Jason and Ilya, they can keep waiting in the wings, but
excuse me?
These ladies, I don't know. I haven't heard of them before.
Never heard of it.
This is it though.
Okay.
But let's bring in the real expert on tropes. We're so excited to have her back. Lauren Okie, please welcome back to the show with her new novel, Tropesick.
Today, we're back with Lauren Okie, our first returning guest here on Our Next Chapter podcast. You may remember her from last time. She studied English and American literature out at NYU, and now she's in LA with her husband and daughter, and she is releasing her second book, Tropesick. And she's here today to talk to us about it all. To pull back the curtain, we've already been talking and crying a little bit, so I'm like,
already got
my face is a little... Whew, I'm a little hot. But yes.
She's made you cry on both episodes.
She's made me cry now, both episodes. So welcome back to the show, Lauren Okie.
Welcome. Thank you so much for saying yes and coming back. So we wanted to revisit a little bit from your first episode because you were getting ready to launch your debut novel. Now we've got the sophomore novel coming out, Tropesick, June 16th, which we already read, and you guys are in for a treat. But last time you talked a lot about how surreal it felt of knowing your debut was like going to stop being curated by you and really just like in your head and in your space, and then suddenly it was going to belong to everyone and be perceived by everyone. And so we're just curious, did writing Tropesick feel like emotionally safer after that, or does it feel different? I know that a lot of it was already written before the debut came out, so what has this process been like round 2 now that you've experienced the launch of novel 1?
Yeah, so fortunately, when The Best Worst Thing was published, I was already in past pages. Literally, I was doing looking for typos. My final read of the formatted book was in October when The Best Worst Thing came out. So I think by then the feelings were the book is done, let's get this done, sort of not exhaustion, but I think a lot of that had already passed because I was fortunate enough to have written the bulk of it before I wrote the first draft of Tropesick before I even had an agent. It was while I was looking for an agent for The Best Worst Thing. And then things moved very quickly once I got an agent and we were able to sell Tropesick before The Best Worst Thing came out. And then my publisher, Yvonne, decided to publish it as a summer 26 book, which was very close together because the book was ready.
Yes.
Edits on this book were very difficult. The Best Worst Thing was very lightly edited. I didn't remove any scenes. I didn't add any scenes. We made tweaks within the framework of the story to further emphasize or kind of clarify certain situations or push harder on certain themes. But it was a really light edit. And Tropesick sort of had an edit that was much more of what you hear about when your book sells to a publisher, where there was a lot of ideas. They wanted more. They wanted to see more of the writing background of the characters. They had certain things that they really wanted to emphasize. And I agreed with all of these edits. But they were hard because the structure of the book, it's non-linear timeline within a frame story, dual POV, with all sorts of other hijinks of which you are aware, because you finished the book happening. So it wasn't just remove a scene, not to mention that I always write in order. So there was I was very, very challenged by the puzzle of when I would break a scene in this book to do something. It was often 150 pages that needed to be altered.
Yeah, it's the ripple effect.
And so this was all happening last spring, and I had gotten some sort of virus that attacked I had viral arthritis in my right hand, and my agent was on mat leave, and there was just so much happening. And I just love a challenge. Like
I was gonna say you are not shy.
I would just
for a
like
challenge.
weep at my desk, like just like shoveling like Cheez-Its into my face, just being like, I love this story. I love this story. Even when my body was like, I hate this story. Like I will burn this book. Like I would rather
spent
burn
so
this
much time with it,
manuscript than read this passage again. But I'm like so committed, and we talked about this earlier, to like creating the best art that I can. And like to go back to your original question, which I think is the best antidote to like fear of perception. And like that has sort of been what I have learned. Which is like, yeah, of course, like I'm a human. Like, of course I'm sad if I accidentally see a bad review of my book, because like I'm not a machine. Like I'm a human. I worked really hard on that. But like if everyone liked the same stuff, then like we would have one museum.
Right.
With
Absolutely.
like one art in
Absolutely.
it.
So real.
You know what I mean?
That's so
like
real.
I don't like
Yes.
the Mona Lisa, guys. I think it's overrated. Like that is my hot
Yeah.
take, right? And it's like the Louvre is like, okay, well, like cool,
Great,
like get out of
great,
line,
yeah.
I guess. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Go
and
see
so
something else, okay?
I think it's like a combination of like this very weird job where it's like you were required to have almost no skin to do the writing, right?
Yes.
Like the
Yep.
the thinnest, you were
Absolutely.
almost like a clear, iridescent, like
Yeah.
they want, you know what I mean?
Yep.
It's like cut yourself
You
open
gotta
on
let
the
it out.
page.
Yeah.
Everything is fair game, every harm, every ugly thought, like you're gonna mine all of that. And then like you have to like put your publicity face on and be like, I am this bulletproof
Right.
marketing machine brand.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, and your words can't hurt me. But like actually yes. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
sure.
it's like you can't do A without B. And so
Exactly. You have to be both.
right. And
Yeah.
it's like, and when I feel like when I have moments, and you know, this, as everyone knows, like we are marketing it as such, there are like some really big plot twists in Tropesick. And I
Yes.
think,
Yes.
and they are going to be polarizing. Like that is part of the deal. And I
Yep.
think part of it is just being like, and there are days where I'm like, I wish I hadn't done that. I wish I had sanded this story down so that everybody liked it. But at
That's
the end of the
interesting.
day, right? And I think like, and there are times where just like sort of, you know, this fear of perception, and it's like, well, it's this beautiful pink book, and it hopefully will reach more readers than my debut. And what are these new sets of readers going to think about me?
Absolutely.
And I keep trying to remember that like romance is a really saturated, crowded place, and like the success that I have seen so far is the composite of like being true to my voice,
Yes.
right? And writing
Absolutely.
like
So
a book
authentic.
that like hopefully 20% of its readers like can never stop thinking about. You know what I
Right.
mean? And
Yeah.
it's like I
Yeah.
never
love it.
want to be a 4-star author. And like I say that like with respect. Like it's one of those things where it's like I
Sure.
want to write someone's favorite book, even if it can't
Yes.
be everyone's favorite
Yes.
book,
Yeah,
because
I love
like
that.
that is like because I got to work on these things for 2 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
so like when I
absolutely.
You
like
have
yeah,
to-
and
yeah.
so it's like it is nothing to do with like what anyone else is doing. It's just like, oh, like I like these are sort of these like survival, I don't know, like that I've kind of created for myself of being like there is like the noise, and then there is the art, and like I cannot, like I am not a magician or a physicist, and so like I don't need to be doing all of this math about
Right.
when like it's one of those
Yeah.
things. And
Yeah.
like and
True.
so on my best days it's one of those things where it's like make characters that are real, like put them through hell, watch them change, make it hot. Do you know what I mean? And like
Yes.
be true to the
Yeah.
story. And I think, and it's like, oh, like that hasn't let me down yet. And so I try, like I say, like to just be like, oh, like that is the antidote. Like voice is the antidote. Telling the stories that only I can tell. Like, and not letting like that fear come for my creativity. And I think
Mm.
Yeah.
it was I felt it. I did not feel it when I was writing this book, because I didn't know. I thought Tropesick could be my debut. I did not know what would happen with
Oh
the best
yeah.
worst thing. I was like, maybe this is my book, you know, like
Interesting.
and then when I really felt it, I mean, I felt it in edits where I was like, you know,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
like, and just
Sure.
being like, just please, like, finish. Your team believes in this book. Like, don't be afraid now. Like, keep going, you know. And then
Yeah.
I really felt it working on my third manuscript, because that is the first book that I started. Actually, I started it
Oh
before
wow.
the best worst thing came out, but I started it once I was in the like ARC review cycle, once I was like aware of what readers thought of my work and like the decisions I made to some extent. And it's like it is hard work to not ignore that noise, but like to not try to like let it influence you.
Yeah, that's true.
Because otherwise I'd end up writing the same, like I don't want to write the greatest hits Lauren Okie book, right? Like I think I mean maybe I do. Maybe my publisher's like, no, you should. But like I think it's one of those things where it's like you have to be true to what got you here, you know, and I think it's like that is the artistic battle. Like every morning after coffee and like my 3-hour doom scroll, like when I get back into the mindset of being like, you're here because you took risks, right? Like I wrote a debut about a woman who was married. The whole romance, she's married, right? Like it's one of those things. She doesn't cheat, guys. I mean, it's nebulous, but like no cheating. It's not like she's estranged. Like the marriage is over.
Right.
Yeah.
Just to clarify, but it's like one of those things where it's like, oh, like that's the brand. Like the risk is the brand.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I think what's
like,
really
don't
interesting
change
is,
the brand.
like you said, you have to, like you said, cut yourself open for these books and just put it all out there. But then on the flip side, the changes come in or feedback and it's not supposed to hurt you. And, you know, on the marketing side, the thing I always tell people is you are not your work, you know, like.
Oh, I'm
But in this case.
But that's the problem, right?
Yes.
In this case, you are your work.
Yeah.
And so it's like, how do you square that in a way that comes together and makes something meaningful and something you're proud of course.
You were talking about like cutting yourself open for this and like, you know, just the authenticity of showing up as you. And so last time you said this quote, you said, we can't have big stories without big mistakes. And so that first book really explored infertility and like your personal journey with that. And so now Tropesick is exploring this idea of like overcoming big trauma. So just curious, like, does this, you know, are you drawn toward these like emotionally heavy themes? And kind of talking about how you're unique in this romance space. I think that this is something that is
I think a lot of people are doing this. I don't think it's like, oh, I'm the only, like I think a lot of people are bringing these themes into their work. And I think I'm drawn to those sorts of stories. And like that's the reason why I write the books that I do. It's because like at the end of the day, I'm writing the book I wish I could pluck off of a bookshelf. And so to me, it's like I want the experience of like some sort of like kind of like dark literary themes, and I want them handed to me in a way that feels like hot and also like modern and sort of like not formulaic but also safe. And I think this goes back to like why I love the romance genre so much is like happy ending and the rest is fair game. And so like I have there's a word for it and it's bigger than a commitment. It's like a good word for promise. It's like a great word for promise and I don't know what it is. I'll look it up later, whatever. I'll send it email to you guys. But it's like, okay, like a covenant.
Oh, yes.
Like the covenant with the reader is that like they're gonna have each other at the end. And like as for the rest of it,
we'll get there and figure it out.
right?
I know.
And I think like and it's like it's literally that noise. And I think it's like, oh, is there a safer place to explore these themes than romance? And the answer is no, right? Because the book thematically is always going to be somewhat hopeful. Like, even if it's upsetting. And like, there are authors that I love, like Lily King or whatever. And it's just like, these are authors that I feel like I'm very heavily influenced by, and they write in like the literary space. And I feel so deeply when I'm reading those books. And there's some like Regina Black, Kate Claiborne, like, oh my God, I just finished Emma Brody's Into the Blue, which was like, I can't read anything else. I just want to go read it again. Like, she's just fantastic. And it's like, I just think, that I am just preoccupied with love, like as a writer. And I think that there is just no part of a story that it doesn't touch. And like, it's in like the very last line of the book in my acknowledgments. And it's like, oh, like we're like, it's something for a friend of mine, and like just I really do believe like love. I don't know if I think love conquers all, but I think in a romance novel it sort of does.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
Mm-hmm.
that's like
Yeah.
that is the hope and spirit of the genre, and it's like why I can't really imagine writing anything else, at
Yeah.
least not as like a
Yeah.
career. I'm sure I could
Yeah.
do like one thing, one like right, but it's just like um that safety gives us so much room to get so dark.
Yes.
Yep.
Exactly.
Because
Yep.
Yes. To
you're
explore
not like
that.
that no
Yep.
character is gonna ultimately have to feel this alone, and I think
Yeah.
Yeah.
that is so
Yeah.
like indomitably like hopeful.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's an answer
Yeah.
to the
No, I
question,
think
but
it
But
it's like,
is.
yeah,
I
yeah, and
mean,
and
absolutely.
like the disclosure is like, yeah, like I like there is addiction in my world, and like and those are themes that are like really, really important to me. And I think they are themes that are becoming increasingly more nuanced. Like hats off to Shrinking, if you've watched
Right.
that
Yes, I
mm-hmm.
show,
love it.
right?
Oh,
Where it's
love
like
it.
where we learn more about the character who was driving drunk, when
Yeah.
Jason
Yeah.
Segel's wife is killed. And it's like
Yep.
um addiction is a disease, and we are very quick to like dismiss people who've caused harm through it, and I think that that is sensible and fair, but I also think that a lot of people make these sorts of mistakes, and not
Yes.
everybody pays the price for them, and like the
Right.
Yep.
vilification of only the people who pay the price is like a little, you know
Yep.
what I mean? Like
No,
it's
that's
horrible, it's horrible, but like a
That's
lot of people drive
mm,
drunk and get home safe. You know what I
yep.
mean? And then
yeah.
like, and we're not
Absolutely.
like like right. It's like it needs to be
Mm-hmm.
stopped. Period. And also like
Yeah.
other story is that um like nothing is ever that simple, and like it's all part of this human experience, and like I just really wanted to get in there, right? I wanted to
Yeah.
take
Yeah.
like when it comes to Tropesick, and it's like I wanted this sort of like this salad bowl of tropes, if you will, to all feel like really new and human, right? Like to use them in this way that was sort of like uncomfortably real,
Yeah.
and like that was the
Yeah.
hope for the book. And so I just think that like romance gives you so much room to play since the ending is
It's
sort
true.
of hand delivered to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to dig into that, like kind of your insights that you wrote into the book about the romance genre, but will you start with telling us a little bit about Tropesick, which I was so excited to show you. I bedazzled my book with one of my besties. We had a little book night and bedazzled, I don't know if it's coming in on camera, but Tropesick and your name are
Oh,
all
so
shiny,
cute.
Shiny.
glittery. We had a lot of fun
And I
with it,
think
so.
supposedly I haven't seen the final cover yet, but I think there's going to be some spot gloss. So hopefully it will
Oh, I'm
Mm,
come
excited.
yep.
shiny, come picking up the lights in your home.
Excited.
Um, but yeah, Tropesick is my second novel. It is about an all grown up girl next door and her dead brother's best friend. He is a now sober literary fiction author, or failing literary fiction author, working as a teacher, and they are reunited at the start of a summer after 8 years of estrangement to ghostwrite a love story together, which is a preposterous concept, and that is the point. It is sort of this kind of like absurd rom-com setup that is shoved into these very real people's lives. And so Katie and Tyler have not seen or spoken to each other since the overdose death of Katie's brother 8 years ago. And as they start to work on their love story they're in forced proximity in the Hamptons, weird things start to happen. And the weirdest of which is that all of the tropes that they're writing into their books start coming true. So as they sort of work through their trauma and fall back in love with each
Mm-hmm.
other, there's kind of this like undercurrent of mystery in the book of like, is this
Yeah.
magic? Is this real? What's going on? Why is our boss so weird? Why is her cat staring at us? And like all of that is explored. So I think it's like
It's so
equal
fun.
parts like kind of literary contemporary fiction and like good old
Yeah.
rom-com kind of mashed together. And I think it's a book for every
Yeah.
reader, and it looks real good on the
Yes.
So
it does,
Yeah.
and it's so fantastic. And I love how much insight you wrote about like the publishing industry, rom-coms and romances specifically. I was gonna see if I could read this part on page 91, talking about the industry. You said, this is Katie frustrated with Tyler. She said, "You act like this industry is a joke, like it's just smut, like it doesn't matter. It does matter. Love makes people happy. It makes the world go around. People read this stuff when they're sad, when they're horny, when they're dying, when their lives are falling apart, when they're too scared. You don't get it, do you? How good it feels to believe in something, to believe your person is out there, that one day everything is going to finally make sense, finally fall into place, to hang on to something like that, despite your fear, despite how lonely you are, despite how many times you've been hurt."
Our
That
girl
is
Katie.
exactly,
Yeah.
yes, I just,
Yeah. And I think that
beautiful.
dovetails from exactly what we were just talking about, is
Yes.
the state of just the genre itself. Like you said, in a world where there's a lot of darkness right now, we need to be able to have that light at the end of the tunnel with a happy ending, and
With the space to play
with the space to
And the
play
genre
with.
is
and these
massive, which is
themes.
like
Yes.
so
Yes.
fantastic, because it's like, okay, you can want anything and get it in like sort of the safety net of like, I mean, you can have an alien, you can have a kidnapper, you can have like a billionaire, you can have, right, you can have multiple
Yep.
billionaires. Like there are, like the spectrum of authors writing love stories, it's just never been broader, and I think it's like so good for the genre. And like so much of this book, and like Meredith is so good at this, in my opinion, and it's why I like delighted in writing her, is like when she's able to kind of snap back at Tyler, who's like this literary fiction snob, and she's like, "You think I can't do that?"
Yeah.
And it's like it had never
Right.
occurred
That's
to
not
him,
the
right?
point.
And it's like,
Yeah.
oh, this kind of like intellectual
So much more.
smugness that like if you
Yes.
end a book with a happy ending, somehow you lack like artistry, which is just bonkers. Like, God forbid
Right.
people want a happy ending, and it's like, and I have
Exactly.
just never seen like a romance reader like go poo on like another reader, like
Yep.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
like, okay, like there's room for, and I think part of it,
Yes.
and Meredith, and like this sort of through line in the book of the Meredith really believing like all stories are love stories, and just like
Yep.
Tyler needing to sort of be coached, and it's not like, of course, like everything is tropified in the book, like the book is, like the book is like a microcosm, whatever, the biodome, there's some fancy
Yeah.
word like that the book is, but so much of this is about like the power of storytelling, and particularly the power of
Absolutely.
believing in a happily ever after, and there being like room for that, room for darkness in stories that are ultimately light, right? And Shakespeare,
Yeah.
like all's well that ends well, and I think Katie's my girl in that, and I think like one of the reasons that I love her so much, and that I think that her like sunshine trope plays so nicely in this book, is that she actually has no reason to be happy anymore. She's lived an incredibly difficult
Yeah.
life, and like
Absolutely.
and I think that really like I so many romance readers in particular have resonated with
Yes.
Katie, and I think, and it's like this just really good for nuance, similar to like I feel like what happened with Nicole and the best worst thing, which is like what I sort of like based on my own experience of becoming a mother, where I was like, oh my God, I go hours without thinking about my child, like in the nicest way possible. I'm just not
Right.
constantly being defined
Right.
by my role as
By
a
that.
mother. I have
By
all
that.
sorts of
Right.
other interests and ambitions, and like for Nicole, it's like, oh, you can prepare for motherhood and want to be thrown against the wall by your old colleague at the same
Right.
time. Like we
Exactly.
contain
Yes.
multitudes, right? And I
Yes.
think it's one of those things where it's like with Katie and whatever, and it's like she is sunshine, but she's also like 16 other things, right? And it's like,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
we're not
Yeah.
just like one thing at once. And I really
No.
loved,
And there's a bravery in that. Yeah.
right,
For sure.
like,
Yeah.
and so it's like this sort of like constant challenge of the like, okay, like we can be kind of archetypal, but we're not just one thing, right?
Totally
And
not
like
just
we still have like very human, like yesterday I was on a walk and there was a golden retriever hanging his head out the window of this truck I drove by, and he was like lunging at my dog, and I was like, you don't see that every day. And I was like, that's actually
Right.
interesting, like I want to know more
It
about
is.
just go to
just
What's the
not-
backstory of
Yeah,
that dog?
and I
fit the
think,
mold.
like,
Yeah, that's
that
real.
is sort of what I'm looking for when I do character work, is like, okay, well, like, I know who you are in a Venn diagram, but like,
Right,
that's
right.
not, but I didn't come here to spend 400 pages for you to be 4 things. Like, I
Yeah,
want
to
to
be this
see
one thing.
everything. And this, I mean, I'll
100%.
never be quiet about this, but this is the power of romance, and that is the power, I think, of like really good sex scenes. Is like that it's just another context in which we see people that we think we know kind of surprising
Different
us,
kind of
or
vulnerability.
showing us more, and like peeling back the layers. And like I think romance is such a fantastic genre to do character work in as a result, because who knows
Yeah.
you more than your person, right? Like, no one.
Yeah. And to kind of pull a little bit back to what you were saying a minute ago about, the book is about 2 writers ghostwriting a book, that sort of thing. We're kind of getting, and I had this thought reading the book, and I definitely wanted to run it by you, like, as one of the most brilliant person we know who does this. Like, we're seeing a lot of
Wait, if
that
I'm
in
gonna
the
hide behind the
genre.
book, we're gonna do it right.
Yes, that's the one.
Brilliant.
We're just seeing a lot of like self-awareness in the genre right now, of like writers being in books and publishers and all that sort of thing. And I'm not exactly sure, I don't have an answer to this, but I would love to hear your thoughts on, we know that media goes in cycles of what's in and what's hot. Like, I wonder what's next after this self-awareness in the romance genre. Like, does it kick back to super classic? Like, I'm not sure. I don't know.
I mean, I personally am ready for the historical, like, mass market. I'm like, those books are so good. Like,
Right.
Tessa Dare,
Yeah.
like they're just like, such high stakes. Like, these people really aren't supposed to be together. Like, I think that's really fun.
Yeah.
I think that, like, my totally anecdotal, like, gut take on that part of it is like, we write what we know. So
That's true.
it's like no surprise to see people in their second or third book being like, I'm going to write about writing a romance novel. And but I also think that it touches on what, like the quote you just pulled that Katie said, which is that like we are some of like the fiercest believers in the magic of this genre. And like writing about it is a joy, and we feel so seen, and our characters feel so seen. And books about books are like, man, book people like books about books.
Book
Like,
people
it's one of
love
those
books.
things,
Your books.
you know? Like,
I can't get enough. Yeah.
I just wrote a book about people who don't read much, and I was like,
That's hard.
You're like, okay.
I mean, one reads
Who's
like
that?
a lot of
Yeah.
like academic stuff, and the other one is like
Yeah.
literally she hasn't read a book in 10 years, and it's
Yeah.
like that's where she's at, and that's where a lot of people are at, and like it's all good.
Yeah.
But it was one of those things where it was like interesting to be like, oh, okay, I guess we're doing some real character work now. Right. And I think it's like, I think it's very comforting to be like, we see a lot of books about bookstore owners, right? Or like that kind of you've got
absolutely.
mail like setup.
Yep.
And I think it's like for all of like and I think the romance genre is very ripe for subversion, and I think that setup creates a lot of opportunity for subversion.
100%.
But all of that being said, this is still like a fantasy genre, and not that we don't learn what we should expect from our partners, or like that we can learn or how to communicate, or how to say you're sorry after a fight. Like, there are so many lessons to be learned in romance. But at the end of the day, like, you're also selling a fantasy, and often that fantasy is a bookstore that's also a bakery, and it's like, like, that sounds nice. And it's like,
it does sound nice.
like there is an element of safety in the book, and I think, well, most romance writers are also romance readers, and so we feel seen in that stuff.
Yeah.
It's also so much fun. Like, we know it's so
Yeah,
well,
right.
It's
just enjoyable.
Yeah. So I mean,
And
I've mined a lot of my career stuff in these books because it's it's hard enough to make stuff
and it's
up.
also what you want to read.
Anytime you can use something that you know is true, you're like,
100%.
Yeah, I know too that you were kind of writing these the best worst thing and Tropesick same time ish, but I feel like this book we saw a little more of your like background in literature coming through, especially with your imagery, and there were just so many times that we would stop and reread something. I highlighted this one spot. It's chapter 65. We just thought this was such a beautiful beautiful way to like capture a moment. It's between Tyler and Meredith. It says, "I nodded. For a while we were both quiet. We let the waves crash. We let the stars blink. We let the sky breathe. And then all of a sudden she broke the silence." And so I'm just curious, like, in writing this second novel and the descriptions of like Meredith's house, and there are just so many times that you're either describing a scenery or you're describing these emotional moments between characters. Was that like was there an intentionality with that in this book? Was it, it almost felt like its own character or something, it
so
just,
it's
my
funny.
goodness.
I got like a review from a bookseller that was sent the other day, and she says that something I haven't been able to make complete sense of, but I'm getting closer. And she said something about sideways points of view being incorporated. And I was like, I think she's talking about the same thing, which is like there's this general narration, and then there seems to be sort of like an injection of scenery that's coming in on a different angle. And I'm like, I cannot do like the literary analysis of my own work. Like my ego is large, but it does like I have limits, and like it's probably there. But like but I think part of it, and it's with this part of it is like, well, the book comes out the way it comes out, and then usually I don't I do a lot of editing. But I really trust my gut. And so when there's dialogue and then the characters need a minute to breathe, setting is the obvious. Almost all if I think then if my dialogue is very good, and I happen to really like the dialogue between Tyler and Meredith in this book. And they say a lot. They're both very efficient speakers. And
100%.
and I need a moment to breathe because what was said was important, or because the characters are being quiet and they're two relatively quiet people.
And there's
then
a
like
lot said in
setting
that
is the obvious,
silence.
and they're in this place that is just outrageous. And like I spent some time in the Hamptons, and like there is that scene with the windstorm, and like I experienced that. And I could not see more than like 3 inches. I went to dinner with a friend, and then we drove out to the beach, and we weren't allowed to park there, and we parked anyway, so naughty. And we went out to go see the water, and we didn't know where the water began and the sand, like the wind and the sand ended. I mean, really howling,
that
whipping.
intense.
And I felt so small, and like the world was so large on that beach. And then part 2 is that this book is weird, and the writers, like the narrators, are writers. And Tyler in particular is a writer of literary fiction, and I'm like a big believer in, well, the narrator sees the world and talks about the world the way that he sees the world. And so Tyler not only writes literary fiction, but he writes speculative literary fiction. And so there is the impossible is regular in his writing, and he will often this is a little treat for yours, but like he often talks about hearts being outside of bodies. Like he has certain themes that he looks for in the writing of this book that sort of just showed up, and I was like, all right, like because these are his interests as a writer. And so as I got more comfortable in their voices, one of the and the challenge of this book has 3 narrators, is like, and I have to have a voice that is consistent enough throughout that you don't have narrative whiplash. So it should all be written by the same author, but the voices also need to be independent enough that if we struck from the chapter title who was narrating, you would know. And so when these passages started to come to me, I was like, I would be a fool to remove these characters' little shticks, because this is how they're not differentiating themselves in dialogue. The dialogue is the same, right? Narrator, it's the same characters. It is in the way that they see the world. And so when I was reading this book, I ingested a lot of, like Katie tells Tyler to do, I ingested a lot of contemporary romance, sort of like gobbling, like, right? Like Talia Hibbert, Emily Henry, like to just understand, because I don't write a lot of interiority, and Katie actually uses more than I'm comfortable with, because she would as a contemporary rom-com writer, right? And then for Tyler, there was so much, like he talks about infinite jest, of course, because that's like the joke, but it's like even commercial writers with like Dennis Lehane, who like authors like that, where I'm like, these were probably the books he was finding at a used bookstore when Katie's reading her bodice rippers when they're teenagers, right? And it's like he and so
What he
much of Tyler
consumes,
was like getting back in touch with my like literary syllabus
Literary
as a
side,
as like
yeah.
an English lit major, and like kind of remembering these
that
sort of
came
like
through for sure.
brilliant, ridiculous men, particularly not the professors, but the TAs who were like Tyler's age, who were getting their PhDs in English, and they would just come in with their photocopies. And I mean, they could not stop like talking about the placement of a semicolon or like the emotional undercurrent of the story. And it's like, and I not only ate that stuff up, but it's like, oh, you're also, the book is also a little bit of a satire. So like you're able to be like, this is good, this is right. And also to be like, this guy, like when he's talking about like Sophocles or whatever, you know, and so there was just so much room to play in this book. But also going back to my other question, this is why when Harper asked for an edit, I was like, want an edit. like a structural, like you want them to be at a beach, and I'm like, oh my god, like you know, like what if this was happened in a different season? And I'm like, oh, like, but the truth is like that all goes back into the story of being like, you were an artist making a product. This is like the same sort of thing that Tyler is learning. Like from Meredith when she's like, your book's 600 pages long and depressing. Like, what is wrong with you? No one wants, you know, and it's like, it's so
I
much.
love the bluntness.
There was so much like humbling to be done too. And like all of that.
I just feel like you just nailed it too, because it's kind of embarrassing to admit, but something we talk about, like him as a writer, he loves this stuff. He eats it up. I always tell him that I'm very dialogue driven. I love like witty, sexy banter, you know, things like that. But I always tell him that like imagery, scenery, things like that, my brain just kind of skips over it. I'm not picturing anything in my mind, but when I read your books, but specifically this, I stop. I can picture this. I can feel it. Like, and I think that example that I read of them on the beach and just taking that minute, taking that second to breathe, there's so much is communicated. And I think that that is something different in your writing, is that sometimes it's like the imagery doesn't reach me. Over you because it's, I don't feel like as much as being communicated as how intentional you are is when you're telling this, you're communicating something so clearly. So I just, thank you for sharing that. And my goodness, we so enjoyed it. But speaking of building world,
building world, I'm gonna push us into the game. If you're cool to play our game, we're gonna play game time. It's a game we're playing with all of our authors now when possible, because we realize we have a lot of smart people who are writers, and we're like, hey, why don't we write a book together? So in quotes, right? And so we call it the Impossible Meet Cute.
My agent's ears are on fire. She's like, you did what?
No.
Yeah. I mean, if she wants to option this great plot we come up with, I mean, hey,
I don't think we're in any danger of that.
We haven't really been in any danger of that happening. But Impossible Meet Cute, super simple. You'll come up with a character, name, quirk, job, whatever. I'll come up with a character. Andrea will give us a setting, and then we'll just smash them together and see if we can come up with
a little bit about their
plot or their story or what happens next. And then if we get really lucky, we can come up with the title, which is always the fun part because it's always all over the place. So we'll take just a couple seconds to come up with a character, and I will. I do have to admit that I cheated a little bit
this time.
I usually don't.
No, you're
good
about it.
And Lauren, I'm sure this never happens to you. I was supposed to be thinking about one thing, but my brain went, "Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Let me write that down for a minute." And I kind of went on this whole run
about this character.
So
I'm excited to hear.
If you're ready, I will. I can give you a couple minutes, or we can move forward.
I feel like if it's fine with you, I'm just gonna make it up because that's for the magic.
Love it. That's the point. That's the whole point.
I don't prepare for anything, and that I think is why. That's what we talked about showing up authentically. I mean, you mean unprepared in a pink shirt? I got it.
Yeah, same thing. Yeah, it's fine.
All right, you want to tell us about?
Let me tell you about this character that popped into my head because it made me laugh this week, and I'd start with the occupation. The occupation is a small town obituary writer who keeps accidentally putting like romance tropes and emotional language into the obituaries. So I wrote a couple things down, like friends describe their 40-year marriage as the ultimate slow burn. So no matter what,
That is
he's
so
squeezing
offensive.
these. It's so funny to me that they would just constantly be sneaking those things in there. Their second chance romance became local legend after the 1997 church chili cook-off incident. Like, just sticking in the tropes as they write the obituaries.
This obituary writer has another calling.
You know,
like, yeah, he's
maybe he's like an aspiring novelist,
Uh-huh.
and he actually got the job as a obituary writer.
And what's his name?
His name is Nolan Graves.
Okay, and
All
Nolan
right.
Graves.
Okay.
Nolan.
Is he in want of a wife? Is he in need of a wife? Is that or a partner? What is
Maybe,
his?
maybe.
Let's hear about it.
I think he lives in a small town and has, it sounds like, aspirations of romance in some way.
Yeah.
Okay, and now what are we gonna do with Nolan? When I said I was unprepared,
do you
I meant it.
No,
Yeah.
do you want me to tell you
You
where
go ahead.
Nolan and whoever
Yeah.
you come up with?
You
will-
start with
Do I
with the
invent
place.
a person or do I wait?
Yeah, it's up to
It's
you.
up to
I
you.
can tell you my idea for
Yeah.
where they're gonna meet him and
tell me.
whoever
Yeah.
you're coming up
No,
with.
I'm interested. I don't know this either.
This was
Now I'm
like
interested.
in a small way
Okay.
inspired by Tropesick, just because there
Hit me
was a
with it.
lot of like scenes at the beach and things
Oh.
like that. I thought about meeting. So you know when you go to public beaches, how they have those little spots where you like rinse your feet off, or they have like the public showers. I thought like,
What
what
a
if you
hot
met
place to
somebody
meet your person.
covered
pretty
in
good.
sand, but
Okay.
showering, so it's a little
Sun
little hot,
glistening,
you know, smells
toasty
like
skin, a
sunscreen.
little coconut
Yeah,
sunscreen
so it's
smell.
like a small
Okay.
beach town that he's from,
Aaron,
I think.
Aaron
Yeah.
toddler diaper.
Right. You know,
Oh my god.
never mind that.
Every time.
No, we love it.
Every
We love it.
time.
Okay, they're at
Pay
the
no
public
attention
beach.
to
They're rinsing.
the yes,
Mhm.
yes. So
Okay.
who does he
Who
come
does
in
he
contact
come
with?
in
Okay.
contact with?
Let's see. Okay.
Mm.
Who's gonna
And do
pop
we
up?
know his?
I'm
Do we know his
thinking.
preferred? Like, do we know? We don't know his type. Like, we don't
We
know
have
his
no
sexuality.
preference.
we don't know,
Whatever
we
comes
know.
to mind.
Whatever makes you happy.
Yeah.
This is the smash it together part.
Mhm.
Okay.
We make it work.
Well, I think she is a gravedigger.
Okay, love it. Let me write it down.
Yes.
Digger. Okay.
Yes.
Nolan Graveson, the Gravedigger. I
Yeah,
like it.
she's
I
a
like it.
gravedigger.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I'm like, hopefully this is not. I just read Grim Tidings, the new BK Borison, and I'm like, hopefully I don't just regurgitate. I'm like, yeah, he's a guardian angel. Like,
Yeah.
she's the Grim Reaper.
It's
I'm
so
like, I
easy to
just
do.
thought of this
Yeah.
amazing book idea.
Ha-
Like, I have a feeling you could sell like 1 million
Thanks,
copies.
PK.
Okay.
How did she get into this job?
She's a gravedigger. It is the family business.
Of
She's
course,
not
I
happy.
like it.
It's just like, especially I think with like the AI crisis, like the family is just like, okay, let's call her Liza. Like, Liza, this is good work. It is AI proof.
Liza, I love that.
Yeah,
Liza.
right? Like,
Mhm.
it's one of those things like similar
Yeah,
to being
it's a
like a
safe-
plumber, you know, where
Right.
it's like these are the jobs that
That
are
will
going to pay
continue to be
$400K a
a need.
year, you know? So it's
Yep.
like you don't want to give up on this thing, and it's like nothing in life, you know, her grandfather said to her, like, nothing in life is sure except for death and taxes. Like, it's such a good
Yeah.
business.
Okay.
And
What
she's a
she's heard,
gravedigger.
yeah.
Yeah. But I think
like
deep
this.
down she wants
She's-
to also write love stories. And so I
Oh,
think there's like this
okay.
connection here where like, yeah, like maybe they meet as they're like scrub whatever, but like maybe like she's washing her feet and like she like bumps into him and like something drops from her cute
Yeah.
toe and it's
Okay.
the newspaper. And she's been highlighting this
I
little
love
trophy
this.
trope.
She's
And
she's a
right?
She's a
fan.
secret fan.
Yes.
She's a secret fan and like she like really like when she digs these graves and then like, you know, she like prepares the plots. I mean like the plot literally like the plot for the body.
Yeah, like
And
yes.
not like the other plot. And it's like, oh, and like she loves, I think she's just an optimist. I mean, and it's just one of those things where like she loves that there's still room for romance and play, even in this kind of end of life story. And she's been really touched by that. And it's brought like a new whimsy to her work.
Yes.
And it is
Okay.
like
That could be
re-energized
very
her.
heavy.
Profits are up.
Mhm.
She's digging 36%
Yes.
more graves.
I love this.
Yeah, and I think maybe together, like once they know their thing, like
like
maybe
that.
maybe
I
they
like
could
that.
have
They're-
like, you know, we've seen the
No.
proliferation of romance themed bookstores, so maybe
like
it's time
this.
for
I like
romance
this.
graveyard.
They
Yes.
end up starting
graveyards.
a
And
And
I'm
they
thinking,
got-
graveyard.
she's
I'm
already
thinking
writing
like
the obituaries.
New Orleans. I'm thinking like the Low Country,
Okay.
like
Yeah.
kind
Oh,
of.
And maybe
yeah, okay.
maybe that's how these
Like a
people
True
like
Blood.
continue to live on in legacy now because they've their powers combined with his obituaries. It's like writing these stories. I think the title has to have you had the twist on a plot. Like when you said the plot.
I had things like the plot.
Yeah, right.
Oh, nice. I also
This
had
is
like something
good.
like I dig you, like dig.
Oh,
That's
that's
things
a
like
good
that.
one too.
Okay, what about a monkey wrench is that after they meet, he figures out she's a fan, but she doesn't know. She doesn't know that he's the guy, the writer the whole time.
So that could
he
be
keeps it a
something they
secret the
figure
whole
out.
time.
Yeah.
So he keeps it super
That could be
secret.
part
But
of the
Is he
reveal.
using a kitschy pen name to write his obits?
I think so.
Okay.
I mean, do people
Maybe-
normally sign their
maybe
obits
no.
anyway? Like,
Oh,
do you
who
know who an
wrote it?
obit writer
Yeah, I
is
don't know.
usually? Maybe because I'm wondering if like there's some tension there around like he realizes she's a fan, but that's
doesn't
why
want to
he
reveal it.
approaches her.
Let me ask you something. Is he like maybe writing a little fanfic? Like, is it maybe bigger than just that? Like, do you think
Okay.
maybe like over time
Fanfic.
it goes from being like the obituaries are no longer scratching the itch, and now he's writing like 900-page like filthy,
Just
like,
really bringing
like-
these people
like
to
just
life.
like whatever.
I love it.
Right, and like she reads them
I love
because
it.
like she
Okay.
wants there to
Yes.
be so much more to this
It's like a
story than
AO3
just like a
thing,
body in the
yeah.
ground, right? And
Maybe
like
that's-
just so like there's
Mhm.
so much, and like not to be like morbid, but like
Yeah.
even like when my mother passed, and I remember like in the months after that, like for like the first couple weeks, all I could remember was like the day that she died and like the state in which she passed, and like that just being like, and I was just sort of like begging the other memories to come back, like just like the full
Yeah.
spectrum
Yeah,
of her
needing
life,
those-
and like maybe this is
Yeah.
where our very honestly very campy rom-com like
Yeah.
has like the grit, right? Because it's like,
Yes.
oh, this is where now I can feel my agent being like, what have you done? Like, why did you just give this book an arc? But it's like
we
That's
can
the
cut.
point.
Yeah, no.
but like it's
That's
but
funny.
it is so interesting to be like, oh, like two people who are in the death industry who are very interesting, and this is very
Yes,
much like
100%.
sort of the like if you read Good Spirit, like there's so much to be said for this, and like we're kind
Yeah.
of seeing this
Yep.
theme
Yes.
everywhere of being
Yes.
like, well, death is a given, and what defines us
Yep.
The
is
reality.
how we
yeah.
spend our lives, right? And like maybe they're just
Yes.
two people who are in the industry who like see that. So I can see her getting like
Yes.
very
I love
connected
it.
to these stories, right? And then
I
of
love
course,
like
like
it.
for the third act conflict, they don't even have to break up. It can be like the families all sue. like this
That's
is like
amazing.
gross intellectual property
And-
theft. Like,
And that's what draws them together.
We
you
go,
know.
yeah, the family hates
and
each
then
other,
it ends,
and then
it ends with them in jail, but they get a combined cell. Like,
Yes, okay.
Oh, beautiful. It's kind of a
Okay,
Seinfeld,
okay.
a Seinfeld ending. Yeah.
okay.
No, and so it's like the family plot or something.
Yeah, the
like
family
that, you
plot.
know?
Family
There's
plot.
Your, there's your title.
Sarah
That's
Jessica
funny.
Parker's
All
gonna
right.
be in it.
Exactly. I'm ready to read it.
Okay, well, it's done. You know what?
It's-
Let me sign
They
that
did-
there. Signed and signed. Done
See,
and done.
I feel like if
there-
somebody
there's some-
wrote
there's
that,
some-
I would blurb it. If someone like wants
Oh,
You'd be like,
if
right. You're like,
spend
no,
a year
that
and a half
sounds.
knocking that out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
it's
cool.
out there now.
Sounds good.
It'll be out.
It
May
exists.
3rd, yeah. Well,
That's
thank
funny.
you. Thank you for
Yes,
playing.
thank you for
It was
playing our
fun.
game.
Thank
It's
you.
wonderful.
I had a blast.
Easy peasy.
And now I'm like,
we love it.
I'm
We
like,
love
wait, I'm like,
your
do we need
brain.
a shared Pinterest?
Start building the
Mood
book,
board.
Yeah,
the
the mood-
look and feel,
the
the
mood
mood
board,
board.
the
We
playlist.
definitely need a playlist. Okay, the soundtrack is going to
Yes.
be all Florence and the Machine, I think.
Oh,
I'm going like
yes.
all in on the like the
absolutely.
low country.
Yes.
Maybe like one Lana Del Rey.
Right.
Yes,
You gotta
yes.
have that
Yeah.
deeper.
Do you think we could pull like a
Yes. Oh,
Matthew McConaughey into it? Like, does he have like that
Oh,
kind of
like,
vibe,
what's
like
it called?
rom-com Matthew McConaughey?
Yeah.
True Detective?
True Detective.
True Detective, very True
yeah.
Detective-y.
Yeah.
Should it be
Kinda-
okay? How
See
about
that?
Matthew McConaughey
Yeah.
and Alexander Daddario? This is our $120 million
See?
Now-
adaptation. We're ready.
You said the name.
This is his, she's
said
his
the name.
favorite.
She's-
his
Oh.
favorite.
She's on my list.
Yeah,
Okay,
she's
it's
on.
Mother's
She's
Day
on the
weekend.
list.
No.
Right.
Oh yeah, my bad.
right.
Never mind.
No,
Never mind. Let me
never.
scratch that out.
I told my
very well
daughter, I was
aware.
like, oh, it's Mother's Day weekend. And she's like, Mother's Day is tomorrow. And I was like,
You get a day.
You get the first 4 hours when I bring you breakfast in bed, and
A
that's
day.
it.
Yeah.
yeah.
No,
That's funny.
thank you for
Thank
playing.
you for playing.
We love your brain.
I love it.
We enjoy that so much. And we'll close out. You've already played our final 5 that we normally
final 5.
close our episodes with. So we were just gonna ask, we'll spotlight the book again at the end of the show and talk about like your socials and things.
Indeed.
Because everybody's got to pick it up
What's
June
next?
16th. But we're curious, like, what is next too? What's on the horizon?
We know you've got the third one rolling.
You're working on. What can you share?
I wrote a third book. I feel like what is next is, I don't know, like what I'm supposed to say. So I will just say nothing.
Okay, deal.
Because I don't know, because I'm kind of in that like no man's land. No one's told me what I'm supposed to say, so now I made this like 10,000 times awkward that I need. But yeah,
that's an answer. Yeah,
that's
an answer.
Nothing has been announced about what's next.
Awesome.
But I'm not done. I feel like we can just that is the statement. I'm not done. I've got so much more to say.
Yes.
It's gonna get messy.
Yes.
And if you speaking of going back to socials, if you look very closely, there is a hint for what I have been working on for the past year in one of my carousel posts on Instagram from the past 6 months. So that is
into that for sure.
I have decided that I'm gonna be Taylor Swift. I'm like, I'm just gonna leave breadcrumbs everywhere.
Easter
if anyone's hungry.
Yes. I love that. Well, and you are like, you are such a writer that builds and earns trust with your readers with these journeys that you go on. So I love that you're doing that through your social media too, like kind of putting these little nuggets in there.
You know what? It's fun for me.
Yeah.
It's like, and like so much of that, and like I won't go on for another 6 hours. But like the thing that I like treasure the most, and when we went back to it goes back to what we talked about before, when it's like writing books that are true to who you are, like despite the commercial pressure or whatever, is that like the one thing that I feel like me and like all of my friends, and I'm in like 7,000 group chats with like so many fantastic authors, and it's like so much of this work is about preserving like that sense of adventure, like that imagination that all like storytellers were born with, right? And like for me, that requires like a lot of like it's like chaos, it's like being glib, it's like not being afraid to like sink my teeth into something kind of dark and like make it weird and fun, and like it's just like protecting that at all costs. And I think that like that goes hand in hand with this like sense of adventure, and my hope is that if you're reading one of my books and you connect with my voice, right? So like if those two things happen, that you're on that adventure with me, right? Like what I talk about, like being like completely like cut open on the page, and it's like, listen, maybe I'm not for everyone, but like if you're on this with me, like I hope that we connect the way that I connect when I like, you know, like putting on the new like Noah Kahan record and just being like, oh, how can I feel so
this was for me,
about something that is so hyper specific. I've never been to your weird town. You know what I mean? And it's like, and to feel it, and it's just like that connection, and that connection starts, I think, with like real vulnerability and real, and it's also like just like, you know, so. That's
like when you try on clothes and you feel like they used your body as the model. It's like,
that has never happened
the best
to me.
feeling.
I'm curious about
what man. Well, then I am willing that to happen for you, because that is a good feeling.
Like 9 inches taller than me was used in this experiment.
That's real. That's
good.
real. Yeah,
I love it.
Man,
well, thank you so much for sharing with us today. I'm just, we love the book, and I love your approach to this, because it's exactly what the podcast, like if I'm not enjoying doing the podcast, then we're just not going to do it. Like it's the same thing with writing, right? Like if you're not enjoying what you're writing and that sort of thing, you're just not into it. So I know my wife had something else planned for the end, but I'm going to close it out before she gets a chance to say it.
No, because I wanted to thank you for helping me build a case. One of the running gags on our show, it's not a gag, it's real life, and a struggle in my life, is that this guy refuses to watch The Notebook. And it started a long time ago because it was my favorite movie and he just hadn't seen it. And it has been a running thing. I mean, Annabel Monaghan even commented of like, Matt, she wrote it in a book when she signed. Thank you so much.
It's been 25 years, and now it's a matter of principle. Okay.
When Katie and Tyler were arguing, and you said, come on, are you serious right now? Of course I'm the favorite. You didn't even try. You're the one that took a job writing a romance novel who's never even watched The Notebook.
You don't even have to read
it.
And we
just... Oh, my goodness. So thank you for helping build my case,
Did you do it?
I am so grateful that... No.
Refuse.
He just continues to say it's a matter of principle at this point, but he can't say what principle. We don't know. So
that is so Tyler of you.
So Right?
You
Thank
have a
you.
principle.
So,
You have nothing
we're
upholding
gonna-
it, but it's just
Nope. Yeah.
100%.
Exactly.
So
That's
everyone,
exactly what it is.
please go read Tropesick.
well, we love
out
flawed
June
men, so we
16th.
love your weird principle.
We
Thank
sure
you.
do.
I
I love
appreciate
him.
it.
It's my man. I'm gonna stick by him, you
For
know.
now.
But thank you for saying yes
Yes.
to coming back. We'll
Yeah, of
please
course.
come back over and over again. We just love having you so
Neat.
much.
Yeah, it was lovely. Thank you.
Another wonderful visit with Lauren Okie. She makes me emotional every time. I'm not sure why, but she gets me every
She
time.
gets to you. I think y'all are just on the same
I think
brain
it's the same
frequency.
vibe.
You'll just
She
get
gets
each
me.
other. Yeah, she can come back over and over.
Yeah,
Lauren,
for sure.
please continue to be our guest.
Absolutely.
Everyone needs to pick up Tropesick June 16th.
Indeed.
Her second novel. You can find her online. She's on Instagram at Lauren Okie Author, and her website is Lauren Okie. That's okie.com. I really loved these characters. I loved her. Katie was so much fun.
Katie was awesome.
I think, and her wardrobe, and it just. We talked a lot about the self-awareness of this genre right now. And so being somebody who's studying it literally to write it, I think this was a really interesting take and perspective.
It's a smart perspective to jump in and try to own a Tropesick piece. I loved it.
And a fun book. So many good tropes.
Especially
Everything that they wrote into the book starts to happen in their life. So
I'm never crazy about the term a writer's writer, but she's like a genre's writer.
Yeah.
She really gets the genre. And for folks like us that read a lot of it, it's like, oh man, I can see myself in there.
Appreciation and her knowledge of it. Yeah. So thank you, Lauren.
Thank you, Lauren. Come back and see us.
Everyone who tuned in to our episode, you can find us online at Our Next Chapter Podcast. And just thank you for coming along on this journey with us. We're excited to continue to share more this summer as we get deeper into writing our own novel with some updates on that. We've got some great authors coming your way and some new books we'll be talking about. So stay tuned. And until next time, I love you.
I love you. In The Handmaid's Tale, he comes down in the middle of the night and she's wearing a ridiculous push-up bra. This cannot be pajamas. I've never seen you do
The
that.
Handmaid's Tale?
Oh, sorry. The Housemaid.
The Housemaid.
Housemaid.
I was
Close enough.
say she's in both.
Oh, is she? Oh.
Yeah. I still don't know who she is, but I think she's in both.
I'll Google it for us. I'll
Thank
report
you.
back.
Just really taking one for the team. What a service.